Hello, happy Halloween. You already clicked on the video, so I know you already know what we're gonna be making today. We're gonna be making a pipe, right? Starting like that. Start off like this as a drawing, then like this. Okay? Before we get into it, I'm only gonna say one thing. I don't make money with these YouTube videos, okay? So what I'm gonna be doing is every piece that you see me making on these videos, I'm gonna put it on my Etsy. That's a way to support me. Buy my work. This is gonna be on my Etsy, and now I'm gonna show you how I made it. All right. So going from a drawing to the glass. Let's get into it. Alright, so this is how the pipe starts. Just a piece of blue tubing and a piece of white rod. Now I gotta get the white rod and prep it out to the right size I need for drawing out the skull on the pipe. So here you see me stretching it out to the perfect size. So now I'm moving on to the tube. The first step is I gotta add that handle, right, to be able to work a tube. So now you see me heating up 2/3 of the tube, which is gonna be the mouthpiece in the end. This whole section is gonna be stretched out, and you're gonna see it that it's gonna eventually be the whole mouthpiece section. I'm stretching out a little longer than usual just because I'm gonna add the Marias, and adding those Marias actually condenses it really short. So if you do it too short in the beginning, you're gonna end up with a little stubby spoon, and you don't want that. So here you're gonna see me start doing the Marias. I'm heating up just a little section and squishing it. You see that? It looks a lot simpler than it is, but once you get to practice, you'll get it. So here I'm moving on to the next step. And I do 4 Marias on this piece. I try to do a big one, then a smaller one, then a small one, then a bigger one, just to go with like the flow. Alright, so this is the last Maria I'm doing here. And honestly, I don't know why we call it Marias, if you're thinking that. But boom, this is the basic shape. So now you see that end part, that's going to be the bowl. So I'm heating up that end, and I'm blowing it out now. This is eventually going to be the bowl section. So I'm getting it nice and round, and I'm ready to add my skull. Alright, so here you see me with the prepped out piece of white that I stretched out, which makes it more comfortable for me to draw out the skull. Alright, so this is the first part you see me. I draw the circles of the eye and just the space for the nose, and I just build my way up. So I start adding more glass, and eventually I get the skull. So boom, now I got the skull and the basic shape of the bowl. So now we gotta make it into a bowl by popping a hole and pushing the bowl. Jeez, it's a mouthful. Alright, so now that I got the hole, I get my bowl push and I'm pushing it down. That gives me that bowl shape. Boom, you see? Once you got the bowl, now you gotta add the carb. So I heat up a little section, plug it with the bowl push, and blow out that carb. Boom, once you get that carb blown out, then you gotta shape it up a little bit with your tool and make it a little bit bigger than your bowl hole. That way you get a nice clear every time you use it. So boom, now I gotta flatten out the bottom, and here you see me heat it up and just flatten it down with the graphite. Every time I flatten it out, I always put my mouthpiece first, then flatten to get that nice, boom, perfectly sitting down bowl. Every time you pack it, it's not gonna roll around your table. So here's the finishing step. Just taking it off the handle, picking a hole, which can eventually be your mouthpiece. So you're gonna want to make it look nice. Make sure you make it nice and pretty. So boom, there it is. Thank you for watching, and happy Halloween.